The binocular scopes that we're going to be using in class. When you get them, they're going to be over here in these cabinets underneath the stations. Make sure that you grab them using two hands. You're going to have one on the arm, one on the base. Carry them level over here because so with some of these scopes underneath here, there is a little glass filter that is not glued down, and if you angle or lean this microscope over, that filter will fall off and it'll break when it hits the ground. Okay. So notice that my scope is on a paper towel. That's to make it easier to slide around, so you can just move it around nice and smooth versus it vibrating all over the place and the microscope getting messed up. You'll also notice that the cord is wrapped around itself on the side. Don't wrap it around the base because all that stuff can get out of alignment if you do that. And when you get these, you just plug it in. There's a switch on the front here. You turn it on. If the light does not shine, you can't see it shining, over here on the side there's a little dial. You can see it right now, it's set at 7. You can move it up or down. Lower numbers means that it gets dimmer, higher numbers means it gets brighter. So you want it around 5 or 6 to begin with, because if you have it higher than that, usually it's like looking at the sun. Okay. So starting from the top, we've got the eyepieces, which are adjustable. You can move them inside, out, or in. This eyepiece right here is not adjustable in terms of this focus. This other one is. You can see on the side, you can turn it and you can adjust the focus. That's just in case one eye is stronger or weaker than the other. Down here we have the adjustable, or actually the objective lenses. We have the adjustable nose piece, where a revolving nose piece, and you've got different lenses here. This one with the red is 4x, the yellow is a 10x, the blue is a 40, and then lastly we have the oil immersion. And as you turn it around, you'll see, or you can actually hear the click. Okay. When I tell you to put a particular lens in place, like right now the 4X lens is in place, that means that it's in the back here. The light that's shining through the stage would be shining right up into it. You can see it from the side here. It's right above the opening of the stage. Okay. Now the stage right now is lowered all the way down. You can see this little aluminum piece on the top. It's the mechanical stage apparatus. It has this little lever here. When you open it up, you can put the slide in. Try to do this one-handed. So you put the slide in, you pull this lever back, put the slide in there, and then you slowly release the lever. Okay, don't let it fling back because it'll break the slide. And now with these two levers on the side, you can move the slide left, right, backwards, and forwards. Okay? And what you need to do is you need to put one of the smears in the slide right where the light is shining through. Okay, and when you hold the slides up to the light, you can actually see the smears if you have a good slide. So like for example on this slide, see that little dot right there? It's right in front of my finger. I don't think it'll focus on it, but that would be one of the smears. Okay. So now that we've got that in place, the 4X objective is in place, what you want to do is you want to decrease the distance between the actual specimen and the lens. And you do that with these two knobs. The coarse adjustment knob is the bigger one, the fine adjustment is the smaller one. So without looking through the eyepiece, what you do is you raise the stage all the way up. And it's going to get closer to that lens. You only do this if your 4X objective is in place. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use the coarse adjustment knob and you're going to slowly lower the stage while looking through the eyepiece to bring the specimen in focus. So when the stage is all the way up, it's not going to be in focus for most of y'all. As you slowly lower it down, what you should see is something coming into view. Now you see it's starting to come into view, into focus on the outside. It comes into focus really fast in the middle. And then if you keep lowering the stage down, it gets blurry again. Okay? That's what I want everybody to do, because a lot of times whenever people use a microscope, they get something blurry and they think, oh, I see something, and then they stop. Well, you're not getting the best image possible until you go through this. It needs to be blurry, come into focus, and then get blurry again. So it's hard to keep this centered. So in order to get it back into focus, all I have to do is raise it up a little bit and get my image. Now, it's kind of hard to get a really, really good picture just using the coarse adjustment. And so what I want to do is I want to get a better picture using the fine adjustment knob. You can Lower down the light intensity a little bit. Okay, so there's my image. Really good focus. Now you find something and you put it in your center of your field of view. A little bit difficult with this camera, but there it is, a little dark spot that's there. Then what you're going to do, after you got it in focus in the center of your field of view, is you're going to turn the revolving nose piece so that the 10x is in place. Okay, so it's right over the specimen. And it's going to be out of focus to begin with, but now you're going to use the fine adjustment knob and you're going to bring it into focus. If it doesn't work one way, move it the other way. To get the best image that you possibly can. And you're only using the fine adjustment knob. The only time you can use the coarse adjustment knob is when the 4x objective is in place. Alright, now next what you're going to do, once you've got it in focus, you put something in the center of field of view. I really have a lot of stuff that's already in the center of my field of view, so it's not a big deal. Then you switch it so that the 40x is in place. And remember, every time you click it or you rotate it, you want it to click into place. So once again, it's going to be out of focus. You can bring it into focus, get the best image possible. My phone adjusts a little bit. Okay. You want to move something interesting into the center of your field of view. Like I said before, something usually dark. It's nice and easy to focus on. Kind of hard with this because the center's moving around. But you'll notice also that the light intensity has gone down. So if it gets too dark for you, turn up the light intensity. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Something interesting in my center of my field of view. Now I'm ready to go on to oil immersion. Now with oil immersion, what you need to do is you need to take this revolving nose piece, flip the 100x into place, and then flip the 4x into place. And you can see that that gives you a larger area where you can work. You'll need to use one of these bottles of immersion oil. You can see when you open it up, there is a little wand attached to the lid. Just take off that first drop of oil, and then go back to your slide, and you're going to put that drop of oil right where your specimen is. Okay, right on top of where the light's shining through. And once you do that, you go backwards, click the oil immersion lens back into place. It should touch the oil. And when you come back to looking at your image, it should hopefully be in focus. If it's a little bit fuzzy, then you need to use your fine adjustment knob to make it more clear. You're going to have to turn up your light intensity. And as you magnify the image, you need more light. Okay? And then you can use your fine adjustment knob to bring it into focus. There it is. And once you got it into focus, then you can move around and you can see different parts of the slide. Now it's very, very important that when you have it under oil immersion, you move slowly when you focus, because it'll come into and out of focus very, very quick. You can see that. And if you go too fast, you'll miss it. So you want to get the best image possible. Alright, so that's getting the image in focus. And actually, at this point right now, there are 3 different shapes on the slide. You can actually use your mechanical stage apparatus and slide around to the next one and then the next smear that's over there if you want to. And that's a very good skill to have, because when you slide over, you may have to adjust the fine focus a little bit, but it should be pretty much in focus. And whenever you actually look at your simple staining and gram staining, you just have to focus on one smear, go through all the steps, 4, 10, 40, oil immersion, slide over to the second smear, and it should be pretty much into focus. It'll make things go a lot quicker. Okay. Now we have to put things up. So we have to put the 4x objective in place. Now that the 4x is in place, lower the stage all the way down, and you can take the slide up. Hard to do this with one hand. You will use lens paper to actually clean the slide. Just rub it back and forth over the surface of the slide. You also need to use lens paper to clean the lens. And the way you clean the lens is you just take the lens paper in your hand, put your finger over that, and just rub it back and forth. There's a spring in there, so the lens will actually go in a little bit, and you just get that oil off of there. Same thing with the slide. Just rub it a couple of times. And with the slide, it's not going to get super clean. There'll still be an oily residue on there, but just something you got to deal with. You can't get it 100% clean. Now, once you're ready to put the microscope up, turn this off, wrap the cord around itself, leave it on its side. Now, with these mechanical stage apparatuses, a lot of times whenever you're looking at the slide, see this bar will be sticking out the side. Don't leave it like that. Okay, move it over so that it's not sticking out so much. But you don't want to move it over so much that this aluminum piece is sticking over the side of the stage, because that'll bend easily. So you want to put it in between where this piece is still on the stage and you have a minimal amount of this extension sticking out on the side. Okay? And that's what you're going to be doing for the basic microscopy lab. Now, so you'll have a gram staining slide also to look at, and a simple staining slide to look at, and you'll just look at those one at a time. Now, when you're doing this experiment, the gram staining and simple staining, consider this microscope biohazardous, because you can't guarantee that you killed all those microbes that were on the slide, so you're going to need to use gloves. And before you actually use a microscope, after you stain, you need to change out your gloves, because usually your gloves will have stain on there, and I don't want you to get stain all over the microscopes. So stain your microscope slides, bring them back to your bench, change your gloves out, then we'll start working on these experiments.